Hi, it's Therese and it's time to Gimme 5 with Penny Black, and I have 5 cute Christmas critter cards for you today. They're fairly clean and simple cards, and I do critter cards every year for Penny Black. I just love them. Okay, so take 2. I've been practicing blending, and when I mean practicing, if you know me, you know I'm not good at blending at all, and I admire these beautiful backgrounds that everybody creates. Anyway, I have the new life-changing blender brushes, and they are life-changing. That is, after I watched how to use them and not just do what I think I want to do with them. If you use them right, they work well. They for me, I use the Distress Oxide inks, but you can use most sort of water-based inks with these. As far as I know, I'm still learning them, and I tend to have a bit of a heavy hand on the right side. So after I'd sort of done a couple of my backgrounds, I worked out I did need to flip my card around and then come at it from the other side. At the moment, I'm working on the front of my cards themselves. So this is the Nina 110-pound cardstock, and I'm using some pale blue. So I've got the Tumble Glass Salty Ocean, and I do come in with the Wilted Violet as well, just to add a little bit of depth, a bit more colour. I did manage to do one of the cards with just the pale blue, and I actually got a really beautiful pale blue background, which I would never in a million years be able to get that with one of the old sort of blending tools on the other style. I just was too heavy-handed. I ended up with dots everywhere, and this just worked really well for me, and it's the first time I've ever used it, so I'm impressed. You watch me, I'll be blending everything now. So I did 4 of the card fronts, couple of combos of colours. This first one was with the blues and purples, and then the pale blue one that I was talking about as well. And then I also did a couple of card fronts using the citron, the twisted citron, and I came in with some orange too, which made me wary. But it was nice and bright and good fun Christmas colours, so I thought they'd go really well with the Christmas critters. I have had so much fun making Christmas cards this year. I have absolutely had a blast. I don't know, I can see why people make them all year round. They seriously are so much fun. Okay, so I've stamped out some critters. I've got them from a variety of sets, and I'm colouring with my Copics. Really simple colouring today. So this bear here that I'm colouring at the moment is from a set called Christmas Bunch, and I've just stamped them all out with some Mento Tuxedo Black, because I will come back in afterwards and restamp with some Onyx Black ink. Just because I've kept the stamps in my Misty, I just find that it gives me a nice outline on my images. I do come in and actually fussy cut all my images out as well, because I want to pop them up. Well, most of them kind of get popped up on the card fronts. So this is, even though all the cards are the same but different, I am doing them in production line style. So I will list all the colours that I use at my blog, and the link will be in the description below. And I added most of my shading with the greys. Oh, look what happened here. I seriously, oh, my Copic was overfilled, and so what you do when that happens is you take the back off it, but it just kept dripping. I couldn't believe it. And I actually think I've had a few problems with this lately, and I think that these are the markers that I took with me on my trip, and I think I overfilled them before I took them away, so they've obviously got a lot of pressure built up. Anyway, so how I got around that was I used my colourless blender just to eke away a bit of that pink from the edges of the image, and then came in with the purple and coloured it. I could have stamped it again. I was probably just being lazy. I hadn't actually stamped that much of the image, but I hate wasting, and I like trying to work a way around things. So like I said, I did come in with the Onyx Black and then fussy cut them out. The post box, and I can't remember now. Oh yeah, the post box image, that came from the Joyful Holiday set, And the polar bear, oh, I haven't coloured that one in yet. I'm getting out of order. That's what night duty does to you. It fries your brain. Okay, so the Merry Christmas bear, that also came, this one here came out of the Christmas bunch set. And that little cute little mouse is from an older set called Deck the Halls. So I love that the penny black images are, there's a lot of similarities in them, so you can kind of mix and match if you wanted to, and use them like in how I've done here, like in a set of cards, so they are similar. What else did I use? Oh yeah, the little bird and the mouse that had all the presents, that came from a set called Christmas Fun. Alright, so I did restamp these as well before I fussy cut them out. Now this is the Arctic Friends. It's a really cute little set. And I did this one slightly different. So I've cut this panel nearly as big as my card front. I stamped it directly on the panel and then coloured the image. And then what I thought I'd do is actually come in and do my background afterwards. And that's why I've used that little post-it note there to kind of cover up my image. But what I found is these blending brushes, they're so good that it actually, I didn't realise I was blending anywhere down there near the image, and it did miss a bit. But I just came in with a Prismacolor pencil that was a very similar colour, and I could just cover up that patchy bit there. No one will ever know. No one, not a soul, except you and me. Alright, so I've got 5 cards on the go. I want to make 5 borders to go on the front of the cards. That's why I wasn't too worried about the edges of those panels that I was creating. A couple of the borders I did emboss with the elegant stitching dies, and that's just tab 1 with the silicone mat. I have got videos showing you how to do that, and then I used a smaller one that actually cut my window out. I've got my Marvy snow marker pen, and the trick with this is don't put it directly on your cardstock. Put it somewhere else and then pick it up and drop it on your cardstock. And you can hit it with your heat tool. My problem was my card warped on the sort of the greeny orange background, so I did actually end up cutting that one off. I've had a snippets sentiment here for the little bear and the penguin, which says no peeking. I thought that was really cute. I love this Arctic bear. There's a couple of polar bear images that were released recently, and they are really sweet. Now I am popping up all of these frames that I created just with some fun foam and some score tape. And this one here, like I said, I did actually end up cutting that card front off just so it sat a bit flatter, because I had the Marvy snow marker, I couldn't actually sit it between some books or run it through my die cutting machine to flatten out the panel. This is an absolutely beautiful sentiment, and this is the really pale blue background I was telling you about that I managed to create. So the Christmas wishes sentiment came from Joyful Holiday. The home sentiment came from The Sweetest Moments, and the Oh What Fun, which is a really fun sentiment I think, came from the Believe set. And all of these 3 card fronts got a spattering of Prisma fine, that really fine Prisma glitter. I just used my quickie glue pen to add that. How pretty is this bear? And they are quite clean and simple. I can't get my words out. They are quite clean and simple, these cards today. But I think just by popping up the images and adding those fun details to the background, it just gives it that little something extra. And I did pop up the little bird as well. If you do go outside your lines with your Copic colouring, especially if you're using a red, a good trick is to come in with a white gel pen, and you can cover up your little oopses and you'll never know. This card, I think this one's my favourite with the postbox. I do like that, and I did attach the postbox directly to the card front there. I think it's because I lived in England and we had those postboxes. I used to love mailing stuff in England. Ours don't look anywhere near as nice as that. And that's my finished cards for today. Thanks so much for joining me. Till next time, Happy paper crafting. Bye.